in Hanukkah, right? The requirement is to light one candle for 8 days. And there's Mahadran, Mina Mahadran. That's what the way we do it, right? Mahadran is to literally meaning to make it even better and nicer. Is that you add a candle for each day. Mahadran, Mina Mahadran is to light multiple, right? Meaning everyone in the household should light their own. Why do we find this concept by Hanukkah? Mahadran, Mina Mahadran, constantly going more and better and better and better. Hanukkah, in its very essence, the word Hanukkah has in it chinuch, which we translate as discipline, but it's not true. I think the proper word would maybe be inauguration.
What does that mean?
When you inaugurate something, I think in English that would be like when you have a Chanukah Sabayis, right? You have a new house, you move into a new house, you make that's inaugurating it. That makes sense?
Yeah, you're holy. You're making it holy.
Huh?
It's like making it holy?
No.
Designating?
No.
What's another word for it?
Like an installation. This is what this is going to be for. This is what this is meant for. It's a beginning. Chinuch is a beginning. And grooming it and preparing it to fulfill its designated job. Right? So when we have a new house, we want to inaugurate it, we'll call it, with the right values. So we make a simcha, it's a happy event, we want it to be happy. With mitzvahs, right? We put up a mezuzah, we put up, we make brachas in the house. There was the Chanukah Mishkan, the inauguration of the Mishkan. Yeah, it is an inauguration. Right, when we just built the Mishkan, the tabernacle in the desert. Right, how was that inaugurated? With karbanos, with special offerings, but preparation. We're preparing it for the future. Another interesting point of chinuch is that you're not bringing in anything new. You're taking what lays in what is already, when you're mechanach a child, you're raising a child, you're putting him on a track, putting him or her on a track for life. You're not making the child into a good person. You're not making the child into a disciplined person. The child is that already. We're just helping them bring it out. We're bringing out the shine of that child. We're bringing out the shine of whatever it is that we're inaugurating, that we're raising up, that we're bringing up. In this case, chinuch, right, is a form of preparation. Right, we're preparing. We're preparing. And preparation, the more you prepare, obviously we all know the more we prepare for something, the better qualities. The more we prepare for the day before, for the next day, the better the day goes. The more we prepare for a class, the better the class goes. The better whatever the more preparation, the better the result. That's why tzaddikim have said that preparation for the mitzvah is sometimes more than the mitzvah itself. There was one. It's brought down that it's very important to take a nap Friday afternoon, even in the winter. I believe it was the Dever Chaim of Tzanz, a very, very holy person. He says he can't understand why he called a mitzvah to take a nap Friday afternoon was not on the Ten Commandments, was not on Aseret Adibros. Why? Because, and obviously it doesn't mean if you have your wife or your husband, someone is needs a lot of help, and you're going to go sleep, and they're going to collapse under the stress. No, then you shouldn't go to sleep, and you shouldn't take a nap. You should help them. But to really prepare in a way that you should be able to. Why? Because it's a whole different Shabbos meal later when you come fresh and you come not exhausted, and it makes a difference in the whole Shabbos. When we prepare for a mitzvah properly, the quality of the mitzvah that we do is going to be much more. It's going to be on a much higher level. And what does that accomplish? The more we invest, not just the quality of the actual doing of the ritual of the mitzvah is going to be better, but the mitzvah is, when we invest much more into preparing for it, it's worth that much more to us. And that's one of the reasons of why it's important. We have a nice menorah, other mitzvahs, a nice estrog, whatever mitzvahs that we try to make it as nice as possible, to invest as much of ourselves into it as possible, because then it will mean that much more to us. It will become a part of us much more. And it will transform from being just a ritual that we do into a relationship. What are we preparing for? So this is something that I didn't see anywhere brought down. It's a thought that I had. And I'll share it with you. Imagine that we would take, right? We would just go through the ritual of lighting the lights of Hanukkah. Imagine that. Okay, very nice. We all get together. We light the lights. We eat some latkes. We eat some donuts. Perfect. Without preparing for it, and without taking 5 minutes before and thinking about, why am I doing this? What am I supposed to take away from this mitzvah? What am I supposed? How am I supposed? We can't be the same person before and after. We got to be higher people afterwards. So it'll be a very nice ritual. It would stay for a few generations. And maybe it would, maybe it won't. Everyone gets together for a Pesach Seder. The question is, how much Pesach and how much Seder? Right? Matzah and bread and matzah. Only matzah, everyone in their level. But I can obviously see a difference when it's something alive, and it's just a tradition that our great grandparents kept and did, and we're holding on. It's very nice to hold on. I'm not knocking that, because many times that can be a foundation for future growth. But in no way, shape, or form is that the goal. What is Hanukkah? What do we need to prepare for? What do we need to prepare? When we look at those lights and think about what they symbolize a victory that we had. Why? What is that supposed to prepare? What is that supposed to be mechanech us for? And as we said earlier, chinuch is something that we have in ourselves. What are we supposed to bring out? Bitachon, true. But Emunah Bitachon, we have many Yom Tov. That's a foundation. But specifically Hanukkah.
There's a lot of nisim that happened during Hanukkah. The oil, the wars.
That's what we like. But what was that? What were those wars? Those were wars. The war that was fought.
That were not armed. The war was won by people that weren't soldiers. They were Kohanim.
True. Very nice. That's the story. But what are we taking away from them? What were they standing up for? And when we light those candles, what's the takeaway? Where are we going to with that? Hanukkah is a Yom Tov where, if we take Purim for example, right? Purim was classic anti-Semitism. Jews are no good. Jews are the source of all the problems. Let's kill them. Boom. Genocide, right? Cattle cars, concentration camps, same old stuff. Hanukkah was different. Hanukkah was, I don't want to kill you. your views are offensive to me. I don't like your views. You're too old-fashioned. Get with the times. Come on. Come join us in our theaters. Come join us in our parties. Come join us. Be one of us. We don't want to kill. No. We want to be with you. We are loving. We are accepting. Come. When that didn't work, now it's getting a little bit uncomfortable. So then the old-fashioned anti-Semitism comes out, and they start killing. You don't agree with us, you're no good, you're an enemy of the state. No, shame on you, shame on your family. Враг народа, к стенке. Очень просто. Simple as that. I don't know that when excuse me, when Antiochus said that you can't do a bris milah, you can't do Rosh Chodesh, you can't do. There was, I don't know if it was presented as this is a bad thing because it's Jewish. This is a bad thing because it's barbaric. This is a bad thing because it's racist, elitist. I don't know, all these other names that they come up with. You think you're better. You think you have this Yom Tov. You think you have Shabbos. Only you have. What is Shabbos? Shabbos is saying that we're Hashem's special nation. What's Rosh Chodesh? Rosh Chodesh is telling us when the Yom Tovim are, because we have special days that are for us, that remind us that we're reliving special times that happened to us. Everyone's got to be equal, don't they? No. You got to be like us. You don't want to be like us. Now we have a problem. Came along the Chashmonaim, and they showed what it means not to be ashamed. Not to be ashamed of who you are. Not to have to justify why we keep Shabbos and why we can't eat in a non-kosher place. For example, what you talk to someone, can I shake this woman's hand? No, she's not related to you. But what are they going to say and what are they going to think? Why are you justifying yourself? Anyone else from any other religion comes, everyone is very understanding. Right? Rabbi Abraham J. Torres tells a gorgeous story about this one. He was flying on a plane. He was dressed as a Hasidic Jew, with a hat, long coat, beard, black and white. Perfect picture straight out of anywhere. Far Park, Williamsburg, Poland, Krakow, anywhere in Poland, Romania, Ukraine. Real diaspora Jew, as the world likes to call. And a lady comes over to him on the plane, and she tells him in Yiddish, "Aren't you ashamed of yourself? You old-fashioned Jew. You're a disgrace to the whole Jewish nation. How can you? How can you dress like this?" So, very wisely, he made believe that he didn't understand a word she was saying. And he had a really good English. And after she finished her rant, he excused himself and said, "I'm sorry, lady, but I don't understand what you told me. I'm Amish. I'm from the Amish people." Now, she obviously wasn't too well versed in what the Amish people looked like, because they don't have mustaches. He did. But it worked. And she heard, "Oh, you're Amish? I am so sorry. You people are so special. You keep the old traditions. You don't give in to this old new agey stuff. Wow." And she started going on praising how the Amish are so old-fashioned, how it's so wonderful. Very nice. When she finished that, he switched back to Yiddish. And he said, "Aha, if I'm Amish, it's very good. But if I'm a Jew, it's a problem." That's a lot what was going on. You had Misyavanim. You had Jews that went to the Greeks. They were very progressive. They were this old-fashioned stuff is not for us. And they went ahead and you had it in Russia too, Yevsekta. They went ahead and they fought their brothers and sisters who were holding strong to the tradition and holding strong to the Torah and said, you old-fashioned people, you're the cause of all the problems because you can't give up on your ideals. What do you mean you don't want to eat? You can't shake. When you understand the reason behind why men and women that are not related to each other don't shake each other's hands. You understand? You go into all of that. What a woman is, what a man is, how beautiful and amazing it is. Once anyone that thinks into that and learns that, everyone comes out, wow, this is right, this is true. Chashmonaim taught us, and that's the chinuch. It's something that we have in ourselves that we have to bring out. That no matter what goes on around us, they were a very small group. A very small group. But not to give in. And it looks like everything's going down. It looks like it's dark outside. And what's this little candle, this little light going to do? What's this little jug of oil? It could only last one day. You watch that little jug of oil, holding strong among all the darkness in the world. That's going to be the light that's going to light up the world. When you look at yourself, you yourself a light. Becoming that light. What, can I really have an effect on somebody? Can I really have an effect? Can I really have an impact? Yes, you can. You stay strong. You do what you got to do. Don't give in and don't give up. You do the right thing. You do the right thing. You'll end up being respected for it. When you give in and you give up your ideals, they know good and well who's who and who's what. You're not going to be respected. You may look like you're respected. You may look like you're loved. Not true. It's all fake. Marcus Lehmann, Rabbi Marcus Lehmann, of blessed memory, in Germany, he was a tremendous writer. And his whole writings at the time was the Enlightenment, the Haskalah, the Reform movement. He was combating that through his literature. He had his commentaries on the Talmud. He was a student of Reb Shamshon Raphael Hirsch, who was really the one that saved German Jewry from total spiritual annihilation. And he writes in one of his stories, it's called The Tale of Two Families. Tremendous, really good, amazing writer. And he writes a conversation. There was two families. One was stayed religious. One, the husband was becoming reform and going off, and they tried to get the rabbi. They caused the rabbi so much grief that he was holding on to the original, right? Not giving up the Torah, not giving up nothing. I think the story goes that he ended up, it was too much for him. He ended up passing away from it, from the grief that they were causing him. But his wife, this person's wife, stayed strong, but he himself he was very, very wealthy. The Kaiser of Germany at the time came to visit his house. It was a whole party. And by that party, he records, like he says, a conversation the two ministers were having. It's like, oh, this Jew, as long as his wine tastes good, we can tolerate him. That's a tremendous statement. We think we're going to give in, we're going to be understand. Hold strong to what's yours. When you hold strong, you'll be respected for it. At the end of the day, it's not always easy, and we get pain for it. We're in Golos. We're not home yet. But when we look at those lights in the darkness, we realize that that's the chinuch. We are bringing out that light that we are, to stay strong, and to realize that many times we can be the light that will light up someone's world, that will light up our world, that will light up the world entire. That's one maybe message that we can take as an introduction as we get ready and prepare. Prepare not just the physical candle, but prepare ourselves to really light up the night and bring on a new dawn. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. This was very